One to right field. This ball headed over the landing and into McCovey for a home run. Max Muncy with his 13th home run of the season. It is 1-0 Dodgers.
And Bumgarner was stalking Muncy going to first and towards second. Home plate umpire Will Little had to come back. Muncy peeked over the left shoulder. Bumgarner threw it, Muncy hit it, and Muncy's letting him know about it.
Will Little, of course, the umpire from Johnson City. Final score of that game, that was the only run scored. Dodgers beat the Giants 1-0. They're, of course, still a team beat in the National League, I think everybody would say. You know, the Brewers swept the Pirates. Pirates will be going to Atlanta for a 4-game set beginning tonight. So, you know, you can watch the race and then Bucks Braves, that sort of thing. Honest Wagner, and this is sort of a story about what a jovial person Honest Wagner was, and a nice, easygoing guy, and all this, says to the player rounding second on his way to third, doing his home run trot, nice hit. 115, 120 years ago, that was fraternization with the opponent. You didn't do that. The player sneered at Wagner. Go to hell! Let them play, where it's like, you know, have the... There's not always been style in baseball, don't get me wrong, but there's always been that be and show that you did it before. Look, maybe Muncy and Bumgarner getting into it is just another Giants, you know, Dodgers tilt that's tiff, I guess. That's been going on since the teams were in New York and John McGraw and Wilbert Robinson were walking to first base on a walk. I can see where Rose or Country Slaughter start running to first base. That's a hot dog. But if you remember, didn't your Little League coach say, run to first base on a walk, be like Pete Rose? I guess it depends on the era, maybe even the area. But I lived in Pennsylvania when Rose was playing for the Phillies, and this is Reds country, so yeah, it'll happen. Anyway, I just, I looked at that. I thought it was a little bit much to do about nothing. I was kind of impressed that Bumgarner, who has not been the pitcher he once was, lost only 1-0 to the Dodgers. I thought that was kind of intriguing right there, as a lot of people think Bumgarner, because the Giants are going nowhere, is on the block. We'll pick him up, that sort of thing. Could he be the Dallas Keuchel of your favorite team to get back into the race? Unless you play your favorite team as the Giants, I suppose, There's got to be. I know. I went to school with Tim Constable, and Tom Constable's son, and he pitched for the Giants back in the day, and was signed by Dale Alexander, who's from Greenville, and was a Giant scout, Tusculum baseball coach for many years. Giants used to have an East Tennessee presence. Ernie Bowman played on that 62 team I was telling you about, that sort of thing. So, they would get some players from around here back in the day, and so I do remember there being some Giants fans. I never could quite get into, in an era before listening to the game on the internet, thank you, Mark Cuban, or watching the game on the internet, following a team on the coast when you lived in the East. How are you picking up their radio broadcast? How are you following them day to day? You're just reading the box score. I never quite got that. Never quite liked that. That sort of thing. But anyway, I've been talking a lot about national stuff. I've been putting the Vols back. I guess kind of waiting for Asian House Vols talk with Caleb Calhoun. And tomorrow, when at 12:30, I'll be talking to him about things like, is Kerry Blackshear really going to be a Tennessee Volunteer? Or has Vanderbilt passed Tennessee as an athletic program? We'll be talking about that. What else we got here? They're going to have the Otters. They're going to have a presence on this show tomorrow. And, of course, at 1 o'clock, we'll be talking to Jerry Bonkowski about the race in Michigan coming up. But before we get to all of that good stuff, let me just say this about Blackshear. You talked a lot about him. Vols have no presence in the post. John Fulkerson is looking to be their top post guy returning next year. That should give you some alarms. That should be alarming to you if you're a Tennessee basketball fan. I've said it on here before. ETSU, they're going to be better in the paint next year than Tennessee. Now we understand why Rick Barnes doesn't want to play ETSU, huh? Anyway, I mention this because it had appeared that Blackshear was not interested in Tennessee. The reports that we had got, grad transfer 6'10" from Virginia Tech, he was a nice player. Reports we got were that, you know what, maybe he'll return to Virginia Tech. Maybe he'll go to Kentucky. That'd be a real step up. They really want him in Florida. And, of course, Buzz Williams is at Texas A&M now, so maybe he'll go there and play for his old coach. But Tennessee, that was thought to be losing traction. Well, now he's going to make a visit this week. You would think that it's a long shot to beat out Kentucky, but be the big man in the paint. Question is, and at allfortennessee.com, they write about this, what scholarship does Tennessee have to give? That's the big one. So, they're obviously going to free something up. Someone quitting the team. We always hear about, this hardworking walk-on, he got a scholarship on a football team. Are they going to take away a scholarship? How are they going to work this? Be interesting to see. Anyway, that is the case with Tennessee basketball. Of course, the other news over the weekend concerning the Vols was that they got a commit, a 14-year-old commit. Yeah, you heard me. This can be described as a bit disturbing. It can also be described as, really? It can also be described as a story you get when you're in Knoxville, Tennessee, and you're really the only game in town, because you're just looking to scrape the crumbs for any story you can get on Tennessee football. Tony Mitchell commits to the Vols before starting high school. He's a football player from Alabama. Now, he had some offers already, this was one of 9, but he went to Knoxville. It's not an official visit. You're not allowed to make an official visit when you're in 9th grade. Met with Coach Pruitt and said, I'm going to play for Tennessee. And some people picked up on it, and they said, a 14-year-old is playing for Tennessee. Boy, what a great recruiter Jeremy Pruitt is. We're talking about the class of 2023. We're also talking about a player who right now weighs less than 175 pounds. He runs a 4.88 40, but he'll be good by the time he's 18, really. Remember David Sills? This is a guy that Lane Kiffin got commit at this age to go to Southern California. He was going to be a quarterback, wound up being a wide receiver at West Virginia. Folks, this isn't an official commit, and a lot can happen between now and 2023. Will Pruitt even be the coach? If he's good, maybe he goes elsewhere. If he's not, maybe he's fired. What happens? We don't know. So this, I always felt, was much to do about nothing. But the interesting thing here is, here's Jeremy Pruitt recruiting like Lane Kiffin did. All right, when we come back, Holly Warlick got one hell of a standing ovation in Knoxville. I'll tell you about it after this.